Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Rick Kaplan. My guest today is Josh Levy of Waterstone Properties Group. Hello, Josh.
Rick, it's great to see you. Wish it was under
Good to
different
see you.
circumstances, but even remotely, good to see you.
Yeah, well, this is the best everyone can do right now. Yeah, so tell everyone, I know about Waterstone. You tell everyone what Waterstone is all about.
Sure. We're a small company. We started about 17 and a half years ago, primarily in grocery anchored shopping centers. And over the last 7 or 8 years, have really started to pivot into more mixed use projects. And we have a great team of 55 people. We're based in Needham, Mass, but we've got offices in South Carolina, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and newly Westbrook, Maine as well, up there with our Rock Row project. And we really specialize in mixed use projects, whether that's retail, healthcare. We're getting into some more logistics and data centers as well, but really creating community and a sense of place and energy at these projects.
Let's talk a little bit about the industry in general, because right now with what's going on, what are you seeing with like you're big with retail and office, multi-use. What do you see going on with the condition we're in?
Yeah, it's very interesting times, right? I mean, we're lucky that we're not 100% retail. Not too long ago, 10 or 15 years ago, 100% of our income as a company was from secondary and tertiary markets, all retail. 7% is from restaurants, 13% from grocery. It's a good mix, but we're seeing some that are absolutely thriving. The grocery stores, I think, are an obvious one. The healthcare providers, New Hampshire Liquor and Wine Outlet is another valued partner and tenant, and they're doing great as well. We're seeing a real I feel really bad for a lot of the restaurants that are out there, and a lot of the mom and pop operators and people in the service industry, whether it's nails, hair, fitness, and those are certainly in a really tough time frame right now. I think those will bounce back. We have some more concern about some of the higher end fashion or apparel tenants, the soft goods ones, and we haven't done much with those in the past anyways, but it's an interesting time where some are thriving, others are very challenged. I think we collected about 70% of our rent for April. Certainly it'll be less for May and June as we work with tenants to defer those to the following years. And but it's also creating opportunities at the same time. So
are you seeing any of these bogus claims from tenants who are still doing business and they're doing okay? They might not be doing gangbusters, but they're doing okay and now asking for rent relief.
We have 350 tenants. We had only a couple that right when this hit called the next day asking for 6 months free rent, and they were really opportunistic. But then you've got other guys like John Anderson from the paper store, who is an excellent retailer. He's got 90 locations. And he called and said, hey, listen, I'm not asking for anything yet. I just want to understand what you're seeing out there. Here's what we're seeing from other retailers and landlords. Let's keep the line of communication open. So you really want to work with somebody like that, and that's really been the majority of our tenants or partners, as we say. We're very lucky to have a very good group of businesses. And we've been spending a fair amount of time structuring deferrals, working to push that off into next year, helping restructure some percentage rent deals to just give people more time to live and fight another day, especially on the mom and pop side. But that's, we're careful to make sure we pay attention to that, and that's some of our focus. There has to be our focus first, but by no means are we sitting back in the corner and crying either. We think it's partly defense in that respect, but it's also a great time to play offense. And we have over a dozen offers out on new projects, whether that's land, existing properties, or we're starting to do a lot of sale leasebacks with manufacturing and distribution companies that are looking to raise capital and that may want to sell their real estate and not be in the real estate business and deploy that into their
Yeah, actually, I did an interview with someone that is into the finance end of things, and one of the things that he was talking about is that it's a perfect time to borrow money. Actually, this is the right time to borrow money to buy new projects or new investments in real estate, because there's going to be some deals out there. And the longer this goes, there'll be quite a few deals out there.
It's certainly a great time to buy. It'll be interesting to see on the financing. I know a lot of the lenders, we do a lot of business with some regional banks, have been very tied up with the PPP funding, and so it'll be interesting to see as that frees up and when. But great time, yeah, certainly great time to buy. And also, as you know, we've continued building on a number of projects. We just poured foundations last week on West End Yards, which is a new neighborhood we're building in Portsmouth. We are opening Market Basket in Westbrook, Maine at Rock Row, and continuing with additional retail space around it. You know, our thinking is when the smoke clears towards the end of this year and into 2021, we'll have a brand new product that's in high demand in front of, you know, a very productive grocery store that a lot of other people are pulling back the brakes and not building. So I think there's going to be a shortage of some of that premier located space. And we're also seeing a lot of tenants before COVID hit where, I mean, you know this, they were starting to leave the malls anyways. That's really been the push. I think that's only going to accelerate that. And we're starting to see that with a lot of businesses.
Well, you got to be thankful you don't own any malls. They're all probably going to have to do something other than what they have right now.
A lot of, yeah, I think we're very fortunate for malls or department stores, right?
Yeah. Those big box stores, crazy. So let's talk about Rock Row. That's a big project. It's in Westbrook, Maine. Everything's got a West in it. Westbrook, Maine. It's competing in the Portland market. How are you managing and working on that?
That's been it's been a great project. It's on a 100-acre former industrial site that was sitting there dormant for 10 years, right on I-95 in between two exits. So we really love the regional location of it, and it's partly in Portland, partly on Westbrook. So there was this eyesore, but a great location on the front doorstep to both communities. So we're doing Rock Row, which is a $600 million, 2.4 million square foot development. And we lost, I'd say, probably about 3 weeks. That is all. We really were scrambling to work remotely and figure it out. But otherwise, we have continued forward full speed on the project. And we're actually opening our phase one next month. That's with a brand new 80,000 square foot Market Basket, paper store. We just announced Chick-fil-A, Starbucks. We're soon to announce another 2 very exciting retailers for that phase. So other than a few weeks, we have not slowed down. And are very lucky to have great partners, whether it's Shaw Brothers, out of Gorham, Maine, or Sebago Technics, or Sepulveda Construction. Everybody is really, and our team too, and city officials have been out there plowing forward in the meantime. And that's a project too that it's a large one in scale, and we're very excited about it, but we're not trying to boil the ocean. So we are doing it in phases. So this phase opens in June. We're about to announce a healthcare campus that'll open in 2022 on the other side of the site. And then we are right on track for our urban village on phase 2. That has always been intended to open late spring of 22. And we've stayed right on track. We've been fortunate with Cinemark and Element Hotel and the movie theaters. And we're about to announce a 1,000-person beer hall and some other great restaurants and breweries. Those have all stayed on track and are moving forward.
So everyone that's interested in being in that space is still, you haven't lost any interest.
We have 24 LOIs and leases out there right now that are we're still moving forward. We just signed a lease last week. We did the LOI with a few of the breweries just now. So those are all moving forward. To be fair though, the only thing that has lagged is the soft goods lifestyle leasing. So we have a number of LOIs out with some great lifestyle brands. I don't want to say the names right here, but those are on hold for a couple months. There's no question, minimum. So that's okay. That's only about 80,000 square feet of a 2.4 million square foot project. So we've been careful. We were doing this anyways, but reducing the pure shopping component. And we focus a lot more on food and beverage, entertainment, hospitality. We just announced 190 residential units, and we're finalizing this week for another 300 with a partner. So those have actually continued to move forward as well during this time. So really only the soft goods lifestyle retail is really the one that's been put on hold as we go through
So
this.
it's technically a real live, work and play type of
100%
complex
going for that
project.
7 a.m. to 1 a.m. We're going for what we call that 18-hour day, and really creating that whole ecosystem.
And I've been there, and it's a great. It's so easy to get to, right near downtown Portland, not only down the street. You get the train from Boston, and it's a great ride. I mean, it's a great destination location.
Yeah, and the quarry on site, which is 5,000 feet around and 400 feet deep, filling with water, and that's going to be really exciting to turn into this unique amenity. And we have Live Nation. We opened them with the 8,000 person concert venue. So last year, that's the big bummer. Is we had Steve Miller booked for this year and other shows at Rock Row that are certainly.
Believe me, I love it there. I wouldn't go to the concerts. And I also think that quarry, the water in there, it's just incredible. It's the bluest green water I've ever seen in my life. It's really incredible.
So excited to turn that into an amenity, and we keep saying we want to outdo Water, Fire, and Providence, which we all love. So made something that's a real draw and something really special for the area. And
so what about winter activities? There going to be winter activities in that?
Yeah, I think the summer in that area is out of control. Portland itself goes from 67,000 to 187,000 people. We have 36 million tourists a year. Think about that. 1.3 million people live in Maine, 36 million a year visiting. The summer is going to be an absolute layup, as well as the shoulder seasons have really started to expand as well. But we've always said we'll really live or die or really thrive in what we can do in the winter months. So instead of letting that be a challenge, we're really turning that into a great opportunity, primarily through our programming. So we have an outdoor skating rink. We're looking at doing different events on ice inside the quarry. In Maine, you can do a lot of great outdoor activities. People really love the outdoors. So, Rick, we're doing the 70 miles of trail. We're connecting to the 70 miles of trail network around us with Portland Trails. So a lot of folks in Greater Portland still get out there for snowshoeing and cross-country skiing and fat tire bike riding in the winter. So we want to really embrace those activities and continue to drive traffic in those months, which we really feel we can. And in closing the concert venue, which is what we're currently working on, we've just launched that conceptual design to bring it indoors so we could have 80 to 100 concerts year round, and adding a lot of vibrancy in those winter months.
Well, you should be opening a drive-in theater restaurant like everyone else is trying to plan to do because of the virus.
We thought about doing that last month. We thought it may be a little too soon, but we are hosting the Westbrook High School graduation on site.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event, and they're a wonderful city and a wonderful community. So we're excited to host that and be a part of that.
So obviously, a lot of the restrictions that we have in Mass, they don't have in Maine right now with these, quarantine, stay-at-home orders. Did they lift that in Maine?
We were lucky that it never occurred on the construction side like it did in the city of Boston. So we were very fortunate. Same thing in the projects in New Hampshire, that construction was deemed an essential business. So that part's been great. It's going to be interesting to see. They're trying out different restrictions. Governor Mills just announced as well, starting June 1st, for how they're going to roll out the opening of restaurants and other things. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And I think it's going to take a while. It really is. We're very optimistic and positive. I don't mean to downplay any of what's going on. It's certainly very real, and I think it's going to take a while to get out of it. But we think come 2021 into 2022, a lot of things are going to go back to normal.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of restrictions in a lot of ways. The government has put out information for restaurants and bars on how they can reopen and try to keep all their customers safe, as well as the employees, with the different procedures that they put in place. which is something that, unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to do. And it's a 2-year plan because we don't know when this is going to be really over.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, hope it doesn't reemerge in the fall, right? I mean, it's scary when you watch the news. I turned it off for 2 days recently and felt great not watching it, but it's unknown.
Watch the video I put up a video today about with an interview of Dr. Shulka. He is a former Secretary of Veteran Affairs. He talks about all of the reopening and how everyone has to go about it, and where to find the information to do it right. So it was a great interview. I learned a lot.
It's on the Real Estate Journal website.
Yeah. No, it was really informative, and I think everyone should listen to it. He talks more than I do, so it will be enjoyable. You don't have to listen to me.
You're ready for sports to get going again too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of watching the same Bruins game for the last 2 months.
Watching a couple of the old Sox games back when we were series for the first time.
I mean, yeah, the Red Sox have won the pennant for like 3 years in a row now. But I appreciate you doing this, Josh. I know it's just you guys are still busy. You're still running around. Well, not running around, but you still have all the meetings all day long and getting things running and keep it running.
We're still out there on site 2 or 3 days a week on these different projects and trying our best. But we're very lucky to have a great team and support network. And yeah, Rick, it's great to see you. Thanks for.
So I appreciate you doing this, Josh. And we're speaking with Josh Levy of Waterstone Property Group. Have a pleasant day, Josh.
Rick, have a great one. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you for watching today's interview. If you'd like to be a guest, a sponsor, or even advertise in the New England Real Estate Journal, you'll find our contact information in the description box below. You can also find all our social media platforms so you can follow us, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.